What up, guys? Gangstapranksta here, bringing the weekly wrestling review for March 24th. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, so we talk everything about pro wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. We're continuing on with our road to WrestleMania. So if you're just joining us, right now, WrestleMania is next week. So all this week, I'm going to try and have wrestling videos up every day. And yeah, so right now we got the weekly wrestling review. This week we're going to review TNA Victory Road, RAW, Smackdown, Impact, Ring of Honor, and predictions for Ring of Honor Showdown in the Sun, which is next week. And some wrestling news. So first, let's start out with TNA Victory Road. Victory Road, it wasn't good, in my opinion. There was good matches, solid matches, but the beginning of the show and the end of the show sucked big donkey dick. It was horrible. So let's just go through real quick. It starts out with Bully Ray. He comes out and says that he's holding the show hostage until his match with James Storm is made into a number one contenders match. James Storm comes out and says okay, so they're gonna have the match right now. So it's Bully Ray and James Storm. This was a garbage match. It was 1 minute long, and Storm won. Like, what the fuck? I thought it would be like a long, drawn out battle, maybe 10 minutes. Let him wrestle. But this was just like a minute long, and it's like, what the fuck? It was, in my opinion, it was a horrible way to start the show. If I was doing this, I'd definitely have, Zema and Austin Aries open the show. And then after Austin Aries wins, you have Bully Ray, who's pissed off, come out and take out Aries. And, this happens. I wouldn't have this start the show. I think that was really stupid of them. But whatever. Next, we have Zema versus Austin Aries, X Division title match. Good match. Aries wins. Next, we have Magnus and Samoa Joe versus Matt Morgan and Crimson, tag team title match. Good match. Joe and Magnus win after Crimson turns on Matt Morgan. So they're going to start feuding with each other again. They started feuding with each other, and then they turned into a tag team, and now they're feuding with each other again. So if what happened before is correct, they'll be a tag team in about a few weeks. Next, we have Robbie E. comes out and talks about having no challengers tonight. He challenges people from the crowd and says he's just going to pose instead, whatever. Devon comes out and challenges Robbie E. So it's Robbie E. versus Devon for the TV title. Okay match. Devon wins and is your new TV champion. I don't get this. I really don't. You have a guy win who hasn't appeared on your show in over a month. What? There's so many guys that just like, I think they could have put the title on. Hell, you should have just had Robbie E. Just constantly come out, I don't have any challengers. Go to Sting. Hey, give me some challengers. I have no competition in the ring. But like Devon, I don't think he needs a TV title, honestly. That's just my opinion. But whatever. So Devon's your new TNA TV champion. Next we have Gail Kim versus Madison Rayne, Knockouts title match. Good match. Gail wins. Next we have Mr. Anderson and AJ Styles versus Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. Again, a good match. And AJ and Anderson walk away with the win. Next we have Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. Really good match. Angle wins. He held on to the rope, so they're definitely going to be continuing the feud. And last but not least, we have Sting versus Robert Roode. No holds barred match. It was a good match, but it had a horrible ending. Horrible. Oh God, watching this, I was just like, what the fuck? But whatever. Let's talk about it. So the end, the end comes when Roode he sets up a chair in the middle, in the sitting position. And he goes to grab Sting so he can do a move on Sting. And Sting reverses it and does the Scorpion Death Drop. And when he did that, he smashed the back of his head on the chair. And he just knocked himself out. And Robert Roode pinned him. I'm like, oh my God, that was such a weak ending. So fucking weak. But it doesn't stop there. it gets worse. So after the match, Rude's like, I want to keep kicking Sting's ass. So he grabs a chair. And Dixie Carter? What? Yeah, he grabs Dixie Carter from the crowd, puts her in the ring, and he tries to attack Sting, but she just keeps getting in the way. So he has a great idea. He's going to go into the ring, get tape. I guess handcuffs were too expensive, but he got tape and taped Sting to the ropes, even though he wasn't moving. So it would have been smarter to fucking tape up Dixie to the ropes, but whatever. So he tapes Sting, and he goes to try and hit her, but Dixie just gets in the way, and he just screams at her. The one thing that really pissed me off about this whole thing, James Storm made no appearance. What, he was too fucking tired from his 1-minute match earlier in the night? What the fuck? Like, James Storm should have been out here. They have a main event next month on Lockdown. This could have been used to build toward their match, but James Storm didn't come out. No fucking appearance, no mention of him. It was just, I don't know. It was just a mind fuck. It was just so stupid. But yeah, that was Victory Road. Again, horrible ending and a horrible way to start the show, in my opinion. But you had some good matches. Jeff Hardy and Angle, that was a really good match. The X Division match, Austin Aries, he's a man. I love him. And Anderson and AJ versus Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, that was a good match as well. So enough talking about TNA. We'll talk about them again later. Next is WWE RAW. So it starts out with CM Punk comes out and talks about his dad being an alcoholic and stuff, and says he overcame it, overcame his alcoholism, and he's gonna beat Jericho at WrestleMania. Blah blah blah. Jericho appears on the Titantron, and he's like, I crossed the line, Punk. I'm not going to talk about your father, but I will talk about your sister. And she's apparently a drug addict. And Punk freaks out on Jericho and Jericho says he's going to win a WrestleMania and make Punk an alcoholic or whatever. And I wonder what's going to happen next week. I bet Punk's mom is a prostitute. That's got the trifecta. Talk about his whole family or some shit. But this was good. I like this. It's getting personal now, and that definitely adds towards the feud. Next we have Big Show versus Kane. Okay match. Kane wins after the match. Cody attacks and just beats the shit out of Big Show with some boxing gloves. Next we have Santino Marella versus David Otunga. Okay match. Otunga wins. We had a promo package for someone who's going to debut by the name of Lord Tenza. As I talked about last week, remember I said that Albert A-Train, whatever you want to call him, has re-signed with WWE, and this looks exactly like him. He's got tattoos all over his body, so we're definitely going to see A-Train / Albert / Giant Bernard back in WWE. I think this name's kind of stupid, Lord Tenza. Well, I can't pronounce it. Maybe if they pronounce it, then I'd be like, oh, that's whatever. But he seems like he's going to be a Japanese guy, a guy from Japan, just going to come in, take out all the competition. Could be good. We'll have to wait and see. He's definitely going to debut after WrestleMania. It'd be stupid for him to debut before. So they're going to definitely put it off a few weeks. Anyways, next we have Zack Ryder versus Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match. Daniel Bryan wins. John Cena versus Mark Henry, pretty good match. Cena wins. After the match, The Rock comes out and attacks Mark Henry. He hits him with a rock bottom and just lays him out. Sends a message to Cena. He just didn't come in like, I'm going to, whatever. I was going to explain something, and then I thought, and then I didn't do it. Next, we have The Miz comes out and talks about how he's not having a match at WrestleMania and says he's about to make a statement. Sheamus comes out, so it's Sheamus versus Miz. Pretty good match. Sheamus wins. Next, we got R-Truth and Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Ziggler and Swagger win. And last but not least, we have a confrontation between Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker. And they talk about the match at WrestleMania and how it's going to be an end of an era. They kept mentioning that. It's just whatever. Anyways, it ends with Taker says Shawn better call it down the middle, and he says that Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H. So, they're going to have their Hell in a Cell. We'll get my predictions for that next week. Talk about WrestleMania. But anyways, next we got TNA Impact. It starts out with Dixie Carter comes out and talks about what Robert Roode did at the Victory Road. Sting comes out and says he quits as general manager and he's going to return as a wrestler. That wasn't a burp or something. That was like me pretending to vomit. Just like, he should just stick to this general manager. He's been doing a good job at it. No reason to come back as a wrestler. And Sting says that the person that will replace him will be Hulk Hogan. Next, we got Zema Ion versus Kid Cash versus Austin Aries versus Tony Nese X Division title match. Pretty good match. No one wins after Bully Ray comes out and takes everyone out. Next, we have Rosita and Sarita versus Eric Young and ODB for the Knockouts Tag Team title match. Or it's a Knockouts Tag Team title match. Okay match. Eric and ODB win. Next, we have James Storm comes out and calls out Robert Roode. Some guy in a suit comes out and says he's Robert Roode's lawyer, and says Roode is not here tonight, but Storm can take on either Kazarian or Christopher Daniels. Storm says he's going to take on both, and then super kicks the lawyer in the face. Next, we got Samoa Joe and Magnus versus Mexican America tag team title match. Pretty good match. Joe and Magnus win. A lot of title matches. I don't know why, but whatever. Next, we got Kazarian and Christopher Daniels versus James Storm. Pretty good match. Storm wins. And last but not least, we have Sting and Dixie Carter come out, and Sting tries to convince Dixie that Hulk Hogan has changed and would be a great general manager. Dixie says okay. Hulk Hogan comes out, and just the fans start cheering. And that's it. It just ended like that. It was a lame ending to Impact. Like, what? That was just so anticlimactic. He didn't even accept. He just stood there and the fans were chanting and then over. Fuck this shit. That's whatever. Next we got Smackdown. It starts out with Daniel Bryan and AJ come out, and AJ talks about how awesome Daniel Bryan is. He's nice. He's a vegan. He's a great lover. They love to spoon. All this stupid shit. Finally, Sheamus comes out and he makes fun of Daniel Bryan. Next, we got Mark Henry versus R-Truth. Okay match. Henry wins. Another Hall of Fame inductee. This time, it's going to be former WWF champion Yokozuna, and he will be inducted by Rikishi and the Usos. So that's cool. Good to see Yokozuna in the WWE Hall of Fame. Next, we got AJ versus Brie Bella. Okay match. AJ wins. Next, we got Zack Ryder versus Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Ryder wins. Next, we got Big Show versus Kane. Pretty good match. Show wins by DQ after Cody Rhodes attacks Big Show. Next, we got Brodus Clay versus Heath Slater. Okay match. Brodus wins. Next, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Great Khali. Okay match. Khali wins. And last but not least, we got Sheamus and CM Punk versus Miz and Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match. Sheamus and Punk win. None of these matches went long, you know. SmackDown's usually the wrestling show. They definitely had a lot of matches, but there wasn't a lot of wrestling. It was just like a 2-minute match, you know. I would have liked to see like a 10-minute match. Usually the main events are pretty long, but not this time. It was like 5 minutes, but whatever. Next, we got Ring of Honor TV. So it starts out with Adam Cole versus Chris Silvio. Pretty good match. Cole wins. After the match, Kyle O'Reilly challenges Adam Cole to a match at the pay-per-view. Cole accepts. Next, we got Kevin Steen comes out for an interview with Kevin Kelly. Steen talks about how he's so close to winning the world title, and when he does, he's going to take Ring of Honor hostage. Jim Cornette comes out and says he doesn't have a match at the pay-per-view, but he's going to, because he's going to have a match with El Generico, so El Generico is going to make his return. Steen says it doesn't matter Steen says it doesn't matter, and he's going to take out anyone who gets in his way. This was really good. I enjoyed this. Lots of promos for the upcoming pay-per-view. They had an interview with Lance Storm, Davey Richards, the Briscoe brothers, so they were definitely hyping it up, and we'll talk about that in a second. And last but not least, we have Roderick Strong versus Jay Lethal. Good match. Lethal wins. And if you still don't know how to watch Ring of Honor, you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, make a free account, and you can watch the show every week. They upload it on Thursdays, So make sure you keep up with Ring of Honor because it's definitely some great wrestling, and you're definitely missing out if you're not watching. So next we got predictions for ROH Showdown in the Sun. So Ring of Honor is going to have a pay-per-view next week. It's actually going to be a two-day thing. So every year they go to where WrestleMania is taking place, and they host their own show. You know, they have a couple shows and stuff, and I think this is the first one that's going to be live. That's going to be on a pay-per-view. So this is going to be cool. So it's called Showdown in the Sun. It's going to take place on Friday and Saturday. And it's going to be on Go Fight Live, and you can order it. I'll leave a link in the description. So you can either buy each individual pay-per-view for $15 each, or you can do the smart thing and buy both for $20. Definitely a great deal. You save $10, and I'm definitely going to buy the two-pack. And let's just go through the matches real quick. So on Friday, we're gonna I'm so excited. These are some great matches. First, we got a Proving Ground match. It's gonna be the ROH Tag Team Champions Mark and Jay Briscoe versus TMDK. I actually don't know this team. This is their tryout match. I think they're an indie team, and it should be a great match. I love the Briscoes, and it's probably gonna be a good tag team match. You know, if this is their tryout match, they're definitely going to want to impress the fans and Ring of Honor management and stuff. So they're going to have a good match. I trust the Briscoes. They're awesome tag team wrestlers. Next, we got the Young Bucks versus the All Night Express. They're actually going to have a match on both pay-per-views, on both shows. And it's definitely going to be a good match. And I'm pretty excited for this one. They're probably gonna have the Young Bucks win one night and then have the All Night Express win the other. And I'm gonna go with the Briscoes in the first match. And on the first night, I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks. And next we got Kevin Steen versus El Generico. El Generico is making his return after being viciously beaten at I don't remember what pay-per-view, but Kevin Steen took him out with the package pile driver. And Kevin Steen, he does a pile driver, then he's suspended or fired. I don't remember which one. And it's probably going to be a really good match. They definitely hate each other. If you follow the feud, the year-long feud, they definitely had some heated battles. And I expect this to be exactly the same. Nothing short of awesome. So I'm going to go with Kevin Steen on this one. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a good match. It is a match I'm looking forward to. Next, we got the Ring of Honor TV Championship match. We have Jay Lethal defends it against Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly, I don't think he's going to win. I'm definitely going to go with Jay Lethal, but I think it's going to be a really good match. This, I think, will steal the show. And the next match, I think, will steal the show as well. It's going to be the Icon versus Prodigy. It's going to be Lance Storm making his return to professional wrestling, taking on the Prodigy Mike Bennett. Lance Storm is an extremely underrated wrestler, and I'm glad I know about him because he's Canadian. I support all Canadian wrestlers. Anyways, this is gonna be a great match. Even though he hasn't wrestled in a long time, he's still in shape. He has a wrestling school. He trains people to become wrestlers. So it's not like he's completely inactive, but he hasn't been like a 20-minute match, I assume. But Lance Storm's definitely a great athlete, and I expect big things out of this match. I'm gonna go with Mike Bennett on this one. And the main event for the first pay-per-view is gonna be an ROH World Championship match, triple threat. We have Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong. This is gonna be a good match. I'm definitely excited for this one. This whole pay-per-view is awesome. And this is just the first one. We haven't talked about the second one. We'll talk about that next. But I'm definitely going to go with Davey Richards. I think he's going to keep the title and eventually face, Kevin Steen down the line. So I think Davey Richards is going to retain. Also scheduled to appear on the first show is Michael Elgin, Tommaso Ciampa, Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, Adam Cole, Cedric Alexander, and Caprice Coleman. It's going to be a stacked card, and that's just the first night. So the second night, let's just go through it real quick. We have a special attraction match, Chikara versus Ring of Honor. So we have Ring of Honor's TJ Perkins taking on Chikara's Fire Ant. a lot of people probably don't know about Chikara, but it's another wrestling promotion, and they do more goofy stuff. You know, their show is you can classify it as like the whole family could watch. You know, if you were to watch, like, if you were to compare it to the Attitude Era, you know, you wouldn't want like your mom to see you watching, you know, girls in bikinis and shit. This one is basically a family show. It's just a fun time. And Chikara, definitely a known indie promotion. A lot of people don't know about them, but you know, they're doing their thing basically, and they're gonna have Fire Ant versus T.J. Perkins. This is probably gonna be an exciting, fast-paced match, and I can't wait. I'm gonna go with T.J. Perkins on this one though. Next, we got former partners collide. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. This is definitely going to be a hard-hitting match, and I'm going to go with Adam Cole on this one. I just think he's going to, like, pull something dirty on Kyle O'Reilly and maybe a sneak pin or something, pull the tights, and I think he's going to take this over as partner. But definitely should be a good match. Next, we have the Young Bucks versus the All Night Express. This is going to be, they're going to have the two matches on the pay-per-view. And this one, I'm going to go with the All Night Express. I think they're going to take it on the second night. And one of these is actually supposed to be a street fight. I don't know which street fight. I don't know which one's which, but it should be a good match. It's so awesome. I love this card. It's awesome. We're not even done yet. Next, we got the ROH Tag Team Title match. The Briscoes versus Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. This is going to be a rematch. Last time they wrestled, actually, yeah, one of the last times they wrestled, you know, the Briscoes won the tag team titles from Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. So it's definitely going to be a good match. I see Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team getting DQ'd, like hitting the Briscoes with chairs and shit. Just finally getting fed up and knocking them out with some chairs. So I'm going to go with the Briscoes on this one. And next we got Kevin Steen versus, what's his name, Eddie Edwards. This should be a good match. We got I'm going to go with Kevin Steen on that one. I think he's just going to like roll through all his opponents until he gets to Davey Richards, which hopefully is soon because I'm really excited for that match. Next we got Jay Lethal versus Roderick Strong. This is probably going to be a good match. They just had one on the show that I just talked about, Ring of Honor TV. They had a good match, and I expect nothing less. So, especially on a pay-per-view where they don't really like, they just go out and have a good match. On TV, they're more like, okay, you have this amount of time, go do what you do. But on pay-per-view, they can have a longer match and a better match. So I'm definitely excited. And the main event for the second pay-per-view will be, what's his name? Davey Richards versus Michael Elgin. Almost forgot. But this is going to be a good match. I definitely expect Davey Richards to do what I said with Kevin Steen. You know, just steamroll through all his opponents and eventually lead to a match between Kevin Steen and Davey Richards, which, again, I'm excited for. But he's going to have to go through Unbreakable Mike Elgin, and it's definitely going to be fun. So these pay-per-views look awesome. Again, so it's going to be a full lineup of wrestling next week. On Friday, we got Ring of Honor. On Saturday, we got Ring of Honor again, you know. On Sunday, we got WrestleMania. You throw in the Hall of Fame in there. Oh, it's going to be such an awesome weekend for professional wrestling. I can't wait. So next, we got some wrestling news. Real quickly, I'll go through them. So, good news. Evan Bourne, his suspension is over and can return anytime. Bad news, it's not going to be anytime soon because he broke his foot. Yeah, he says he broke his foot in a freak accident. It's broken in 4 places and dislocated in 5. So this guy can't catch a break, you know. When I think he was suspended once. Yeah, he was suspended once, was back for like 2 weeks, suspended again, and then his suspension's over and then breaks his foot. Like, he's just on a string of bad luck. Hopefully he can recover soon and make his way to back healthy to WWE. He's definitely not going to make it to WrestleMania, which sucks. So, best wishes to Evan Bourne. Next, we got the Wrestling Observer is reporting that WWE's No Way Out pay-per-view, which is returning in June, will be an all-steel cage pay-per-view event, similar to what TNA does with Lockdown every year. At this point, it remains to be seen whether or not WWE will be able to build storylines in a PG fashion that will lead up to an all-cage match event. But as of now, that's the current plan. Why WWE, you know, it just seems like they're building all their pay-per-views around something. You know, they have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. They have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They have the Royal Rumble. Just TLC, you know, it just goes on and on. It's just, I mean, it makes sense, No Way Out, and it's steel cage, you know, that's, oh, clever. But, you know, TNA already does this, and, I don't know, I don't think WWE should have any more, you know what I think they should bring back? King of the Ring. I really, really, really enjoyed that pay-per-view. I wish they would bring that back. I wish they would have it every year, but, I think the reason they don't have it is because they have so many number one contenders, you know, things like the Royal. Okay, so the King of the Ring, the winner usually gets a world title match, you know. But they have so many of these now, you know. They got the Money in the Bank, they got the Royal Rumble. There's so many. It would kind of demean, like, devalue the King of the Ring. So. But I'd like to see the King of the Ring return. I think it's a fun thing, just like a tournament, tons of matches on one pay-per-view. But the all-steel cage pay-per-view, TNA's got theirs coming up, and I don't know. I don't really know what to think. I'd like to see, what do you guys think? What do you think of WWE having their own steel cage pay-per-view? And, yeah, so I personally, again, I would have King of the Ring, but that's just me. So that's it for the week. That's it for the show, guys. You know, next week we got predictions for WrestleMania. I'm pretty excited for that, and it's just gonna be fun. Fun week for professional wrestling. Fun week on my channel. You know, wrestling every day. So keep it locked for lots of wrestling content. So guys, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.